This is my Galaxy Z Fold4. I have used it since the day it was launched last year, and it had been my primary phone since then. I can unfold whenever I want to do some work, or read some web pages, or even read ebooks, and that extra screen space is just something that I can't live without. But let's be completely honest here, this is not the perfect foldable phone. So why did I stick with this phone for so long? Well, we'll talk about it in today's video. Take this as a long-term review too, because I'll be sharing my experience with you alongside with my worries and fears about foldable devices. So let's begin. We'll start off with the question why I stuck with this phone. It doesn't have the best hinge and the crease is often regarded as obnoxious. Heck, even the performance and the battery life aren't the best either. Even the cameras are considered not that good when compared with last year's Galaxy S22 Ultra. I even took the Galaxy Z Fold4 on our recent trip to Taipei to attend Computex, and here are the pictures that I took with this phone. It is definitely not the best, but it's actually very good. Good enough for me at least. Now, I am privileged enough to choose other flagship smartphones from other brands to daily drive instead of this. Maybe the Galaxy S22 Ultra, OnePlus 11, Vivo X90, ROG Phone 7 Ultimate, and many more. I eventually still stuck with this phone because of its ability to just unfold and reveal a larger screen. But you might ask, hey, there are lots of other foldable smartphones out there as well. You got the Oppo Find N2, Xiaomi Mix Fold 2, Vivo X Fold, but definitely not Huawei's Mate X3 because it doesn't have native Google Apps support. And all of these foldable devices that I've mentioned have a much better hinge that folds the screen into a teardrop shape, so there is no crease and also there's no gap when it's fully closed. Since those phones closes with no gap, I don't have to deal with dust getting in between the screens when I put the phone inside my pocket. Because for the past year of using the Galaxy Z Fold4, each time I unfold the device, I will have to wipe the dust off the screen first before I actually start using the phone. That is just very annoying. While I do agree that the crease on the Galaxy Fold is a bit more egregious, it is actually not like this when it's still brand new, but as time goes by, the crease got deeper in terms of depth. However, since our review time period is only at most 2 weeks for all of these devices, we can't say if other brands' folding mechanism will result in the same issue with the crease. But there are more problems with Samsung's hinge. Since the Fold 3, there are reports of the inner display just shattering along the crease. Some say it's due to material fatigue and form micro cracks around the crease, and then eventually the display just breaks. That, however, didn't happen to me. Probably it's because I'm using the Spigen Slim Armor Pro. Probably that causes the gap between the phone to be not closed that tightly. I really don't know how to explain this, so I'll just show you an illustration here. And I presume that actually alleviates the extreme bend around the fold. So if the folding aspect of the Galaxy Z Fold4 isn't that good, then why do I still choose to daily drive it? Well, that's because having an excellent hinge with the best folding mechanism and virtually no crease is totally useless if the software isn't good. And that is why I use the Galaxy Z Fold4. Since this generation of the Galaxy Fold, Samsung's One UI has been integrated with Android 12L to bring us this taskbar here. That fundamentally evolved the experience. Finally, these kind of devices are not just a typical Android phone that's on a larger screen. The taskbar feature is not available on other foldable devices, and I don't know why. The taskbar makes jumping between apps easy. Just tap on it and whoop, I'm there. I even place folders in here so that I can quickly access even more apps with a single tap. Even multitasking is easy as well, since I can just tap and drag wherever I want onto the screen and then just place it there and everything will be sorted out for me. Better yet, certain apps like Facebook works in a special way. You see that messenger button at the top right corner there? If we tap on it, then it will automatically enter this mode. Facebook on one side, Messenger on the other. We can create our own shortcut to launch 2 or 3 of these apps in multitasking view too. I still want to use this feature to launch both Lazada and Shopee side by side so I can compare prices when I do my online shopping. But these 2 apps are still very broken for foldable devices. But fret not, there are more apps getting optimized for foldables, by the way. Samsung Malaysia even pushed the initiative with apps of some local companies and businesses too. These apps are looking really good here, and I really hope more app developers will join the foldable device bandwagon as well. Let's not forget that even though this initiative is brought forth by Samsung, it actually benefits everyone. including Samsung's competitors like Honor, Vivo, Oppo, and even Huawei actually, because all of them use the same apps. That's just great, and I'm happy to see someone pushing this kind of initiative. Just please get Lazada and Shopee to optimize their apps for foldable devices too. That is my biggest wish for foldable devices right now. Also, don't ask me why the back of this phone case is so ugly. I super glued the DIY MagSafe ring onto the case and it turned out like this. I also had to cut a segment off because of the camera cutout, and that actually degraded the MagSafe ring's strength by a lot. Now let's talk about the future. Am I going to upgrade to the Galaxy Z Fold4 when it comes out? I think we have to look at what we know right now about the Galaxy Z Fold4. There are already quite a lot of rumors and alleged leaks of the Fold5 floating on the internet right now. First, it is said that Samsung will launch the Z Fold5 somewhere around the end of July, and the hinge also got an upgrade and it folds into a teardrop shape right now too, and there is no gap when it is fully closed. Other than that, it is obviously expected to have some minor upgrades here and there, like the new Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 chipset, maybe a larger battery, and that should be it. And that might not sound like much, but the hinge will be the biggest upgrade for the Galaxy Fold and Flip lineup, unless Samsung got more surprises saved up for us. Now, to those who say that the cover display is just too slim and too tall to be used, I disagree, because I think this aspect ratio is fine. A foldable device should be focused on the usability of the inner display, not the outer display. The aspect ratio of the inner display is actually the best that I've tested so far. Sure, many apps can't make use of the entire display, so you can actually force it to become a 4:3 aspect ratio, and that nearly fills the entire display. Remember, if the outer display is wide like the Oppo Find N2 for example, then the inner display will have to be double the width, making apps just work not right. Apps will become too wide laterally, and most of the apps will have UI elements take up the majority of the space available, making it just like, you know, the meme with the Internet Explorer and then you have taskbars taking up like 70% of the screen. Yeah, that's the whole idea. So if you're thinking to get the Galaxy Z Fold4 right now, I suggest you to hold off for a while. Wait until the Z Fold5 launches and then see what's new. Then go back and decide whether to buy the Galaxy Z Fold4, which will be lower in price at that point, or get the new Z Fold5. I personally think that the Fold4 is a great phone, but as I said in this video, some aspects of it could be improved, but I'm sticking with it because of its software magnificence. Oh, let's not forget about the convenience of Samsung Wallet and all of those amazing features too. No other smartphones come close when it comes to One UI's features.